My name's Richard Mylan. I'm an actor and a theatre maker, and I am in recovery for opiate addiction. I suppose if I'm just going to be brief about it, gateway drugs in my teens, and then as I became a professional, my drug use became more pronounced, heavier, harder drugs, and then when I stumbled across opiates, it was the answer to my prayers in terms of medicating against debilitating mental health issues at the time, and that I knew I was in trouble when I tried opiates, and that period then became a sort of 20-year stretch of my life where I slowly kind of spiraled out of control, and then I've been in recovery for well over 10 years now, and long may it continue. Stigma has affected me in all sorts of ways, but I think it's important to say that I have a public-facing job, so I try to keep my addiction a secret. But just by the nature of what I was addicted to, and that I needed to use, and I needed to kind of link up with addicts and dealers, your secret slowly kind of gets out there, and it filters through the families and friends of those addicts and dealers, and before you know it, there is a small circle of people that know your dirty secret, as it were. And one example is people quite high up in this city, friends and professional colleagues, had a great relationship with these people, and then one day I walked in the room and it was like somebody had taken all the air and all the temperature out of that room, and that room that was usually a warm and inviting, friendly place was suddenly cold and harsh, and I knew instantly what that was about because I'd seen it before. I knew that the stigma of addiction had filtered through to those people, and they judged me immediately, and everything that they knew about me fell away. Everything they knew to be true about me fell away, and I was judged on that one thing. So it's affected me in many ways, but it's also affected how I operated as an addict, right? So I was desperate to keep it a secret as much as I possibly could, and that's because of stigma. The stigma 100% discouraged me from seeking support because of what I just said. So, I knew that I was judged immediately, and when I told real, true friends about it, and my relationship with those people changed, it stopped me from seeking support because I knew that I would be getting closer to not keeping it a secret, if you like, even plugging into professional services. The stigma attached to addiction is so damaging for people that want to get help, and that's why I'm really passionate about this campaign as well, the Only Human campaign, because we need to challenge that, because it is stopping a myriad of users from seeking support. It's important to tackle stigma because we have to realize that it's our social responsibility. And it all goes back to this thing that I call selective empathy, where we are happy to treat certain addictions, food addiction, smoking, alcohol. Those things are more, I'm not saying people are happy to treat them, I'm saying they're more socially acceptable. But then when it comes to things like opiate addiction, and even to a point, there's even that difference between taking cocaine on a weekend, on a night out, as in sniffing it, and smoking crack cocaine. One is more socially acceptable than the other, but it's exactly the same type of drug. So we need to challenge the root causes of stigma, which is challenging selective empathy. And we have to get society thinking of addiction across the board as a level playing field, that every addict, no matter what they're addicted to, needs our support and needs the understanding of society. I'm not saying it will solve all the issues surrounding addiction, but it will certainly help massively if we're more socially accepting as a society, and we don't have this kind of selective empathy. Recovery is a massive achievement, and it has to be celebrated because that person has actively sought help, and it might take them 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 times to finally fully go on the road to a kind of long and meaningful recovery. But the fact that they're just plugging in needs to be celebrated. You peel it all back to stigma, right? If we remove the stigma from the root causes and we remove selective empathy, then even the way that we celebrate recovery will change. Because it's almost like a secret celebration again, right? People go into recovery and they're celebrated by their peers and by the people that are helping them and their family and friends to a point, but that's as far as it goes because the stigma disallows that from going any further beyond those circles, because society isn't ready to celebrate people they have selective empathy over, if you know what I mean. And it really gets me down. It gets me down that addicts have to celebrate for the most part in secret. Like it's only like let's take AA and NA for example. It's known amongst your peers within that group where you are on that journey, and it's celebrated, but that's as far as it goes. So we've got to challenge it, and it's got to be celebrated more widely, and it just means that we have to accept it from the beginning, the root causes of these things. The whole journey from the root cause to using to recovery needs to be understood and treated with empathy. I hope that what people gain from Adferiad's Only Human campaign is given the confidence and the tools to go on that journey of recovery, not worry about the stigmas around their addiction. I hope it helps society to come to terms with the fact that it's a social construct what they consider to be socially acceptable, and that I hope society challenges their own notion of addiction. And like I say, you know, smoking, food addiction, alcohol, it's all relatively the same thing. We're all medicating against something, and just treat addicts with respect, because this whole thing of it's a choice needs to be challenged, and people deserve our respect. Stigma comes from society, and we need. Yeah, I just hope that this campaign really drives a positive change in society, in the way that it deals with addiction, and in the way that it deals with people within their own communities. I hope that it just generates more love and understanding around addiction.